where people are sort of trying to feed things in, but they're very strong in their own conviction and what they believe in, that they are able to, kind of differentiate and say, no, this is what I want, this is not right. But then this creates some sort of question in listeners, in our viewers mind, like, I am not like that, what does that mean for me, like where will I end up? And that's
Mm,
where I feel it's so good to kind of have different perspectives, especially like you coming in and kind of being so genuine, that's how you grew up with, because sometimes not everyone has that point of preference, as you just mentioned. And
yeah.
it's okay to be in that phase, because it's your own story, it's your own life.
Yeah.
And that's so beautiful, that you shared that, because that's point of relevance, that's where maybe a lot of us can relate to, that. And it's just so that I can say it's okay
Yeah.
wherever you are. And the interesting part is that what you brought forth is that if you are not comfortable with that, that's when the real journey begins. And I think that's where we would like you to sort of jump in over here. And I would really like to know that what was that really changed the outlook for you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you bring that up, Ashani. So thank you for highlighting that because, like in life there isn't right or wrong, is there? There's just variety. There's just differences. It is what it is. And that was my upbringing. My parents gave me so much support, so much love, and they were doing the best they can with what they had. But then that brings me to the story of I graduated university with a master's of physiotherapy, and I was working as a physiotherapist for a number of years until, this particular day that my existential crisis got activated. So what happened was I had gotten up to go for a run, and when I step out onto the sidewalk to begin, I hear a crunch, and I'm like, "What's that? What's going on?" And when I look down, turns out I'd stepped on a snail. Now, this isn't the
Oh
first time that this
no.
has happened before, and I know that a lot of people can probably relate because they've done that before as well. But for some reason, this particular morning, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like I felt guilty,
Yeah.
and I couldn't stop thinking about how, because of me living my own life, choosing to go for a run on this day at this time, I'd caused such an effect on something outside of me. In this case, I had killed something. And this really got me thinking for the rest of that run, even for months afterwards. I was still thinking about it.
Wow.
And I started to see the bigger picture. I was like, I feel so guilty, about this one snail. Yet, like, my whole lifestyle actually is already neglecting many different forms of life. Like, I started to see that, my existence actually already has such a flow and effect that I rarely thought about because I don't usually see the consequences of my simple day-to-day decisions like the plastic that I'm using or the clothes that I'm wearing. So this sent me into this realization that I as an individual have a lot of power. I have a really big footprint, but at the same time I still feel so insignificant, so small. I'm just one person. And yeah, this sent me spiraling into this crisis. And I was like, I feel like I have all this power and I need to use it for good. But at the same time, every day I'm going into work and I'm teaching people how to just squat so they can shape their booty a little bit more, or how they can do this as a wrist exercise for their forearm muscles. When out there's like a lot of devastation happening, to the environment, to ecosystems that actually I have a role to play in, whether or not I realize it. And like, this, I went really big with my thinking and I had so much awareness around this. And I, fast forwards about 9 months, I was still in this crisis because I was like, I feel like I need to do more. I feel like I need to become more, to have more of an impact. But I'm confused because I thought the definition of success was that I needed to just have a stable, secure job, make a lot of money, make sure that I've got like a roof over my head, I can put food on the table. Being respected was also something that was really ingrained into me, that that's an important thing to strive for. So I was so torn and confused. There was like this conflict of belief systems and direction, that one direction my mind wanted to go, but the other direction my heart wanted to go. So fast forwards, I ended up realizing, you know what? I have one life and I need to use this life to make this world better. I need to have as much impact as possible and, spread ripples of change for good. So I actually pivoted completely. I stopped working in the sports industry as a physio, and then I started in business doing what I'm doing now, like helping people not just as athletes, but as human beings. So that was a big perspective shift because I had to redefine my entire definition of success, redefine my entire pathway of life. And this was when I was 24 years old.
Wow.